Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, this one's not going to be about knives, but I have a knife up here and I don't really know where I'm going with this one. I don't have a script, but I watched a video about stoicism, and what I realized was when I took a course in Intel, it talked about area of influence and area of control and not worrying about the things that you can't influence or control. And I thought, wow, Intel's pretty smart. Well, they actually got that from the Greeks, Epicurus or something like that. I'm probably not saying his name right, but he had that exact same concept that um, if you can't control it and you can't influence it, don't worry about it. It's totally out of your control. Worrying does nothing to help you. Um, so that helped me a lot in life. You know, when you start worrying, what if there's going to be a nuclear war? Now, I was in the Cold War. I mean, that was our thing, to guard against and be prepared to go nuclear war. At that time, it was pretty much Russia, but it could have been China also. But Russia was a big threat back then. And many a times I would, like they had always told us, they're not going to nuke the base that we're on because they want it. They're going to use chemical warfare on us, gas attacks and stuff like that, so they could seize the equipment afterwards, decontaminate it after everybody's dead. And I would have nightmares occasionally about that when I realized that it's beyond me. There's nothing I can do. If they want to go to war with each other, I'm in the military. I'm going to do what they tell me. So, um, that's one thing that helps me with anxiety, basically, or worrying about stuff is don't worry about the things that you can't control. Another thing that I learned throughout life, basically, is it's much better to go through life helping people if you can, and being kind to people. And the reason is not so that they'll be kind back to you. It's just a more positive way of going through life. You're going to get your own rewards. Basically, your rewards are going to be, you're going to feel good inside when you do something for someone else that helps them out. And it can be anything, like there's a pandemic going on, you've got a neighbor who's old, they're already isolated. If you check on them once in a while just to see if they're all right or talk to them, that can make a huge difference in their life. So it's just little things like that. No super pearls of wisdom here. Another thing about Stoicism was, if you run into something that looks like it's bad for you. I mean, everybody's going to run into pain and stuff like that. The Stoic version of it is, look at that as an opportunity for growth. Anytime something bad happens to you, it's just like a muscle. If you don't exercise a muscle, it'll atrophy and wither away. The only way that we as human beings usually grow is through struggle and strife. So, for example, when I lost my really good paying job at Intel, they sent all our jobs pretty much over to China. I went from my last income for that year was like $83,000. I went from $83,000. Now, some of that was severance pay because I've been working for them for 12 years, so they gave me a pretty good severance package and everything. I was averaging more like 60,000. I went from $83,000 to $0 for 5 years. I mean, I lived partially off of my 401k that I had, but living off of almost no money taught me much, much more than living with a lot of money. All I was doing was just buying things, whatever I wanted, and it was so much easier to buy it. But when you get into the struggle where You don't know if you're going to be able to eat. Basically, McDonald's dollar menu saved my life through that time because I could get, a burger and a soda and all that other stuff for $1 or $2. And yeah, it's not super nutritious and it might be bad for you and everything, but learning how to live off of next to nothing is a valuable lesson. Something that you won't learn if you're rich and always have stuff given to you. If you ever have to get to the point where you're struggling, just know that it's going to make you a better person to go through it. So that's why with all the stuff that's going on right now, I mean, it looks bad with the weather, with politics, with money, with all this other stuff. Just do what you can, that you can protect yourself. And one of the things I want to say is, I don't want to scare anybody or anything like this, but really food is going to be a big issue in the future because of supply chains, because of weather and everything else. So if you get a chance, set aside a little extra non-perishable or long-term life, shelf life type of stuff aside, and just think of it as food insurance, because money's not going to help you when you need food and everybody else needs food and there's no food around. Money's not going to do you a bit of good, and neither will, any form of money. If somebody doesn't have, if there's no food to buy, then, there's no food to buy, no matter what kind of money you come up with, pesos or whatever you come up with, it's not going to work. So it's like that, Boy Scout motto, be prepared, You can't be prepared for everything, but there are some things you can prepare for. So, yeah, like I said, I don't want to worry, and panic everybody, but just like today, I got a feeling in the back of my throat like you get before you get a cold. Now, normally, that's no big deal. Most people think, oh, I'm coming down with the cold. Guess what that could mean nowadays, So, there's all kinds of things that can get you, with anxiety and stuff like that, and get upset. So, basically, I don't know. That's all I had to say on this. I'm kind of like insomnia. I can't go to sleep tonight and all this other stuff. And I've been looking at nutrition and try to exercise when I can. But it's like today, it was so hot. I mean, I just stepped outside to check the mail, and it was like stepping into a sauna. You just don't realize how well your air conditioner is working until you step out in that humidity and heat. You go from a nice, comfortable, I keep my thermostat set at like 80, but when I stepped outside, the feel-like temperature was 104, and it was like, whoa, I am so glad I don't have to work in this stuff anymore. Anyways, all I wanted to say is just, we have a very good community here with each other, with the knife community. If somebody, needs help, they'll usually somebody will get together and try to help you out and stuff like that. But one of the things you can do, like I said, basically is just, it also it gets you from concentrating on yourself all the time. When you start thinking about other people, you don't look at your issues. For example, like when I was basically starving through those 5 years, I had fallen down on the ice and jammed my shoulder into my arm. My right arm had jammed into my shoulder and messed up the whole socket there, and I was having a hard time feeling sorry for myself, and I went to Walmart and I was looking through the store and I was kind of feeling sorry for myself, and I saw a person missing his right arm from like right above the elbow. And I thought, you know what? My issues are not, I'm going to get over this. This guy's not going to get over losing his arm, So to me, it always helps to put it in perspective, whenever you think things are bad, believe me, there are people out there that have it much worse than you. And whatever you think is your terrible thing, there are people out there that say, boy, I wish that was my only issue. So take care of yourself as much as you can. Take care of other people as much as you can. And I know this isn't, knife related or anything like that, but I just wanted to put that out there that, if you're ever down and out and having issues and you think you can't make it, you're stronger than you realize, and you're not alone. Like, there are people you can reach out to, and even if it's just to say, hey, I'm feeling bad or whatever, just let them, reach out to people that could help you. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to get that one out there. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.